What's going on, everybody? It's Divisive Legend. So, I'm sure we all know about what happened in Baltimore over the past couple days, but if not, well, you're about to find out. Baltimore police just got caught on camera planting drugs on someone. And it was on a body camera. But you would think, hey, that's a good thing, until you figure out what actually happened. They were doing a search, basically a drug bust or a drug search, whatever. And during their search, I guess they didn't find enough evidence. So the body cameras got turned off. During the time that the cameras were off, this officer went and planted this evidence on somebody in a spot where he knew where it was, turned his body camera back on, and said, hey, let me go check over here. The other officers were involved in it. The other officers knew what the hell was happening because they were there on the scene. So the officer found the drugs that he planted on this guy. They arrested the guy, and the guy had been sitting in jail. The guy's been sitting in jail for months now. I mean, this raises concerns to me in more than one regard. The first concern that I have is, it's just like this shooting by this Somali cop in Minneapolis when he shot a white woman. Why was the body camera turned off? These officers should not be able to turn their body cameras off. These things should be on 24/7 the whole time these cops are on shift. If it costs extra money, that's fine. The thing about it, though, at the end of the day, when these cops can turn off their body cameras, it allows them to be corrupt. The only difference between this and other body camera situations we've had come up is that this cop and the rest of them were a bunch of fucking dumbasses. Like, we know Baltimore is a bunch of dumbasses when it comes to the police. That's why they paid out $13 million because of police misconduct. But the fact of the matter is this, and this is another concerning thing. I'm concerned about the integrity of the Baltimore Police Department because of the fact that there was more than one officer involved in this incident. Now, again, not all cops are like this. Not even a good amount. There's going to be bad apples. But you do have corrupt departments that have very corrupt policy, very corrupt policing. And what I don't get is why none of these other officers who took an oath to protect and serve the Constitution did not report this. And that goes to the blue line, about crossing blue lines and cops getting fucked over for telling on each other. But thing is, this is nothing new. Cops have been planting evidence on people for years. I've personally know somebody who's had evidence planted on them. I know more than one person, actually. Now, doesn't mean they always win in court, but this has been happening for a long time. And that's where I'm going to get to where I'm going to talk about the root of the problem. Not only is the war on drugs creating organized crime, not only is the war on drugs costing our country too much money every year and we're losing money and it's a waste of our time, the war on drugs is contributing to corruption in our police departments as well. I personally have seen officers in Minneapolis that are involved with selling drugs, that are actually selling drugs to people. I've seen police officers in Minneapolis doing drugs. I've seen police officers in St. Paul. I haven't seen them do as much, but I've seen them involved in some of the drug shit. When the DEA takes drugs and money and all that shit from people, they use it to fund themselves, on top of getting government funding. This is an example of why we should be using this money that's being used to fight this war on drugs to be taking care of other things. On top of that, body cameras should never get turned off. When an officer goes into work and they go into the police department, They should be fitted with that body camera, and that thing needs to be turned on immediately. No turning it off. Body cameras alone, with the way that they're being done, that's why police are fighting for freedom to turn it off and trying to talk about privacy and shit, is so they can turn them off in instances like this. So, yeah, I just wanted to say that and give my little thoughts on the situation. And yes, I believe that the biggest contributing factor to this was the war on drugs. Divisive Legend out. Peace.